everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are tackling a very difficult subject, heartbreak. If you're going through a breakup right now, I am truly sorry. I know how it feels, especially if you've been with someone long enough and you've imagined future with that person. When the relationship breaks, it can physically break you. It can shatter your heart into pieces. But today we're going to do a very important exercise that is designed to rewire your brain after a heartbreak, to help you breathe, to help you feel grounded, and to understand that you're going through a lot right now, but you're going to be okay. So I promise you, if you sit down with me, if you grab a paper and a pen and do this exercise, you are going to feel better. Will it magically heal you? Of course not. Healing is a process and sometimes a long one, but you will feel like you can breathe again. You will feel hope again, and it will help you put things in perspective and hopefully start the healing process the right way. Before we start writing things down, you have to know that whatever you're experiencing right now is absolutely normal. During the first stage, which is the stage of acute pain, we're going to talk about this later, your body just goes into shock. Sometimes you cannot sleep, sometimes you can't eat, you feel like you can't even breathe. All of this is completely normal. But I promise you that it's just this stage. It's just a stage. You're gonna feel better. But the first stage is gonna suck anyway. There's no running away from this. This is how your body processes loss. It's completely normal to feel like your heart's been broken into pieces and you're never going to recover. But it's not true. It's just your brain telling you these things because it just doesn't know how to cope right now. I'm tackling this subject because a lot of people are going through this experience. I think it's, heartbreak in general is a very human experience. I do not know a single person that didn't have their heart broken, but so many of us get stuck in this pain, thinking that, okay, my life is ruined, I'll never feel happy again, I'll never love again, I'll never meet a person like this again. But it is not true. It's just right now you are in this stage of acute pain. So please do grab a pen and a paper and let's begin. I'm going to put everything you need to write down somewhere here on the screen, and I'm going to read it to you now. So please, if you need, pause the video and really write down every single line and try to do it slowly. And it's also important that as you write things down, you really listen to yourself. Do it slowly. Make sure nobody can bother you right now at this moment, and really try to feel every single line you're writing. Okay, so let's begin. Stage 1 is a stage of acute pain. Write it down. We broke up. It's normal. I have the 4 stages of healing ahead of me after the breakup. The first stage is the stage of acute pain. If I feel lonely, it's normal. If I feel unwanted, it's normal. If I don't want any relationship anymore, it's normal. If I feel hopeless, it's normal. If I feel like crying, it's normal. If I'm in pain, it's normal. If I am overwhelmed by memories and nostalgia, it's normal. If I want to go back to the name of your ex-partner, it's normal. If I feel sorry for myself, it's normal. If I struggle to sleep or eat, it's normal. Writing these lines down, you're giving your brain a perspective. You're just allowing yourself really to feel all of these things, which is, as I said already 10 times here, completely normal. Some people say that if they think about the fact that other people are going through this, it makes them feel better. Like everything that we're talking about here is completely normal. The feeling of pain, restlessness, hopelessness, everybody feels that way. By knowing that other people are feeling the same way and all of these emotions are completely normal, that also lets you know that it's not because you are broken. By doing that, you are allowing yourself to sit in this pain, and that's incredibly important. I understand that sometimes it can be extremely overwhelming to feel that much pain. I cannot stress that enough. It is incredibly important for you to let yourself feel that way. Do not try to numb yourself with alcohol or substances or, I don't know, jumping into a relationship or something, just a way to cope. Allow yourself to feel that pain, process that pain. It's a part of healing. You need to let yourself feel all of these things, despite the fact that it's incredibly painful. But trust me, if you do let yourself process that properly, your healing can actually begin. Do not numb that pain, sit in it, feel it. But please do know that you're gonna be fine. So this is just a stage. It will pass and you will feel better, I promise you. Let's move on to stage 2. Write it down. When we talk about, I understand that right now you are probably in stage 1, but it's important that we go on with an exercise because it will give you that sense of lift, that feeling of hope, that feeling that there is future for you and there is still joy in your life. So let's move on. Stage 2. Stage 2 is called the adaptation stage. Okay, so write it down. After the acute pain phase, I gradually enter the adaptation stage. I begin making plans for the future. It would be good too. And here you need to write at least 10 things of what you would like to do in your life. That can be, it would be good to learn how to cook. It would be good to learn a language. It would be good to start working out. It would be good to start jogging in the morning. It would be good to get a new haircut. It can be something trivial. It would be good to clean my house. It would be good to, I don't know, adopt a pet. It would be good to just write whatever you want. And it's very important that you don't rationalize things too much. Just really go with what your heart desires. Perhaps it's a hobby that you've always wanted to pick up, something that you've always wanted to do, but you didn't have the time or the opportunity. I don't know. But now it's important that you'll let your brain know that there are things in your life that you still look forward to, things that will give you joy. It's very important you write this down. If you can't come up with 10, try to write at least 7, 8, but 10 would really be a good number. After you've done with the 10 things, keep writing. I catch myself smiling, joking, laughing again. I can now talk about their name without anger or bitterness. I'm beginning to feel like the author of my own life, slowly reclaiming responsibility. I notice interesting men or women around me. The reason for the breakup finally makes sense. I cry no more than once a week now. Nostalgia still visits, but less often. I have learned to control it. I no longer feel like a victim of circumstances. People always wonder how long this stage or that stage is going to last for. The stage of acute pain, the first one, lasts, I can't really give you a timeline because it's different for different people. For someone it's a week, for someone it's a month, for someone it's a few months, but ultimately maybe it's about a month in most cases of acute pain, of that horror, but then it starts subsiding. And then I'm not saying that you will feel healed after that acute stage of pain, no, but you will gain some perspective, right? You'll start analyzing things, you'll start understanding why the breakup had to happen. that there were actually reasons for this relationship to end, and that maybe it's for the best ultimately, even though you're still feeling a lot of pain. And now let's move on to stage number 3. Okay, write this down. Stage number 3 is the healing stage. At the perfect time, in the perfect way, precisely when I'm most ready, I step into recovery. I now know the breakup was the right thing to happen. I'm grateful to myself and to my ex-partner. Through this, I've learned, and here you also need to list things that you have learned in this relationship. It can be both bad and good ones. For example, you can write things like, I have learned that commitment is very important to me. I've learned that I cannot tolerate this or that I will not accept this or that. Or you can also write things like, I've learned that I can be loved. I've learned that someone can care genuinely for me. I've learned that someone can love me. These are wonderful things to learn in a relationship. So please do write some good and some bad. It's impossible to only have bad things that you've learned from this relationship, or only good ones, because we're all real people. And it's also sometimes people blame the person and say like, oh, that person was a horrible person, they treated me so badly. But that's also a moment where you can understand that you have allowed that person to treat you that way. And now you actually understanding that there was your responsibility in that too. And that is something that you've learned, and this is something that you will no longer tolerate in your next relationship. That's a wonderful thing to learn. And after you've listed that, let's move on. Write it down. I face the future with confidence and optimism. Ahead of me awaits. And list what you desire. For example, love, growth, adventure, peace, maybe new job, new country, new opportunity. List things that are awaiting in your next chapter of your life. That's a wonderful thing to do. I now enjoy nostalgia, but I can switch it on and off at will. I feel well, and I look well. And when needed, I can speak of my ex-partner with ease. And now let's move on to stage number 4, normalization. I've developed new habits. I've processed my past relationships and learned what to embrace and what to avoid. I'm happy with my life now, and I know what's next. And here you can also write down the vision of yourself after you've healed. Imagine what kind of person you're going to be, what new habits you're going to have, how your life is going to look like after you've healed. It's very important, because by doing that, you give yourself hope. You remind yourself that there is still a lot of great things in life for you to look forward to. There is still things in your life that you can improve, things that you can take responsibility for, and really, really improve the quality of your life. Even without that person, you're gonna be okay. When I was going through this experience, I found this exercise, and it honestly helped me so much, because I remember I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. I just felt like my life is over, to be honest. And I found that this exercise, and I did it. And honestly, I feel like when I was at the beginning of this exercise, I thought it's not gonna help me. But once I was feeling so bad that I thought to myself, I'm just gonna try, because at this moment, I don't feel anything anymore. I'm just gonna do whatever, So I sat down, I wrote everything in the exercise, and I honestly did feel better. I felt like like that heaviness was lifted off my shoulders. Even for that moment, it gave me that sense of hope. And I remember I had those pieces of paper. There were like bunch of like sheets of paper randomly that I randomly just like tear from a notebook, and I was carrying them with me when I was going to work. And sometimes when I would feel like really bad, I would take it out and read it again. And when I needed for someone to like give me that sense of groundness, it really did help me through very difficult moments. So I suggest maybe you can do the same thing. If you're writing it in your notebook, take that notebook with you to work, to school, or just keep it next to you. And when you feel really, really bad, just read it again. If you can, write it down again. As I told you, when you write things down, your brain processes things differently. So it will help you to just kind of take it in, really, and feel much better. So I hope that this exercise helped you through this very difficult moment. As I told you at the beginning, you're going to be okay. As hard as it is, you are going to be okay. Everything that happens for a reason. It's a lesson that you're going to learn, and you're going to come out of it a stronger person. You are going to feel better, trust me. Thank you for watching, and take care.